Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March 18th. Um, I'm feeling really crappy. Like, I was literally on the floor here since like 11 p.m. last night until it was like 6, 7 p.m. I'm running a pretty high fever. Not super high, I guess like 100 something. This past Friday, I had a pretty bad fever. Again, I was on the floor, and the fever went away after like 24 hours. There was a bit of a dry cough, and then I felt fine. And then all of a sudden, just it hit me, and I still feel really weird, like incredible fatigue, where it takes so much energy to like move things, to even like get yourself to a bathroom. I don't have an appetite. I don't have a cough really. It's a little bit, but and my lung function seems okay. I recommend for all of you get an oximeter. It's this little digital thing. So you turn it on, put your finger in with the nail facing away, and then it'll give you a reading as to your approximate oxygen level and heart rate. So right now I'm showing good lung function, but if you do this and it shows something approaching 90, it's time to go to the hospital. This thing kind of affects your lungs in a way that's sneaky. You may not realize it. And I haven't left my house in like a while. It's been like over a week. So whatever I got it a while ago. I don't live with anyone. I don't leave the house. I got everything I need. I had to take a sick day today. But I figured I'd document this. I'm just no cough, thank God, so far. But yeah, I feel like crap. So regarding COVID-19 news in Bushwick, there's some sort of supercluster with the Hasidic, like ultra-Orthodox Jewish community that the governor, there's a cough, that the governor of New York has kind of downplayed, and it's probably because they have a powerful voting bloc and he's trying to avoid violence against a group, but articles I've read and friends I've talked to said that there's kind of like a distrust of the media, and all their religious practices involve being close to each other, and they have their own like hospital. I don't know, but it's a super spreading event. It's pretty serious because I think it's too late. Even if they isolate, it's already spread everywhere. From that point in Brooklyn, I'm sure it's everywhere. The White House today in a press conference finally admitted that young people are affected, and then there was an article from the CDC that said, I'm gonna need to get better software for this. I've seen people who were able to share their screen. I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. But there's this article from the CDC that says younger Americans are contracting the virus at the same rates as those who are older. The initial round of data found more people between the ages of 20 and 44 who landed in the hospital than those over the age of 75. And already in New York, we're seeing like 20-year-old who needed a ventilator and a 28-year-old who needed a ventilator. They're slowly telling the public the truth. The truth is it affects young people just as much as old. It seems like under 20 are okay, but any one of us who's basically adult is in danger. You have to take it seriously. And we will run out of ventilators. Like, young people survive because they get on ventilators. We have 150,000 ventilators for a population of 327 million. The math is irrefutable. There's going to be a shit ton of deaths. I call it math macabre. When you run the numbers, take the population of wherever you live, assume 40% get infected, which is very conservative. Of that 40%, now take 20% require hospital. Again, pretty conservative. And take that 10% require ICU. Now, take that, find out how many ventilators your state or community has, and pretty much all those people, the 10% number, a huge amount are going to die. And then, hospital beds fill up, ICU fills up, people who have heart attacks and other things won't get treatment they need. People who show up to the hospital for other stuff like births and things like that are going to get infected while they're at the hospital because it spreads in hospitals tremendously. This is just starting. People are like, it doesn't seem that bad. It's just starting. It's going to get really, really, really bad in major cities like Manhattan, Los Angeles County. It's going to be horrific. Warm states like Florida, they think they're safe, but this virus is perfectly happy in hot, humid areas. It's not the flu. It reproduces everywhere. Again, super contagious. it's a lie that they tell the public when they say there's going to be a vaccine in 12 to 18 months. That's a pipe dream. They just don't want people to panic. We've never come close to developing a vaccine for a coronavirus of any type, and we've never made a virus of any type that quick. So it's a pipe dream. They just don't want people to panic. It's highly unlikely. Like it would take like 5 to 10 years, and by that time it would have run its course and killed. Like when I first ran the numbers at Math Macabre, I thought we were looking at like 1 to 2% world population killed. Now I'm thinking more like 5%. I'm looking at the Philippines. They have over 100 million people, and they have 400 ventilators for 100 million people. India's going to get fucked. Like the Philippines going to get fucked. All these kind of more poor areas of the world that don't have access to this stuff, and where there's a distrust of media, where people in India are being told to drink cow urine, and they do it because they think it'll work. Oh my God, it's going to be nightmarish. This is not going to be over anytime soon. People in New York are starting to take it more seriously, I think. I see out my window, I see people with masks. Again, I haven't left the house, I don't need to. But and I thought about like leaving the city, but I think traveling right now is kind of dangerous. This thing, from what they've seen, acts sort of like HIV in that it dramatically lowers your immune system, making you susceptible to all sorts of infections. So if, let's say what I have now is COVID-19, I'm not sure, maybe, then I'd leave the house and I'm just like exposing myself to all this crap. Like, nope, I'm staying put. And I'm watching my lung function, and if it gets bad, then I'll go, but I don't want to leave. But yeah, I think I might have to take a sick day tomorrow too, because as I speak, I feel pretty bad. But what else? The Jerome Powell did a whole thing with the Fed that they're removing the requirement that banks have 10% cash. They're now allowing them to use stocks as collateral to borrow. This is going to, because they're out of weapons, the Fed, when they're trying to prop up the economy and the stock market. They can't lower interest rates anymore, and even if they did, they would negative. Nobody's biting. Nobody cares if there's not going to be profit for a long time. They're projecting 20% unemployment. But this financial disaster is just getting started. I mean, we're talking 401ks wiped out, Roth IRAs wiped out, pension funds wiped out. It's just getting started in terms of the health issues, the financial issues, the economic issues. We're on like the opening credits of a movie still. It's still, like, people are, oh, it's peaking. Nope. Not even close to peaking. Not in a country as big as the United States. It's 327 million, many of whom are not taking it seriously yet. And I keep fully expecting New York to go under military, like FEMA lockdown at some point. I see no other way around it. You can't do voluntary quarantine with this. There's no evidence that being infected means you're immune even. It's just an assumption. I mean, just about every other virus does it, so it makes sense to assume it behaves like every other virus we've seen, but this is unlike any other virus from what I've been reading. It attacks using pathways that it's not common. So yeah, I think I'm kind of like fading the more I talk. I probably should rest, and I do feel hot. Here, I could take a temperature reading. See how. Yeah, I like these digital ones. I heard that there's like a bit of a run on these. Yeah, it says 100.6, which is kind of what I've been getting. But yeah, oof, I feel like crap. So I need to rest, drink water, lie down, that sort of thing. Stay safe, everyone. This is worse than they're telling you. It's way more contagious than they're letting on. It kills young people, and it's airborne, as in it clings to dust particles. Like, people say they think airborne means sneezing, and I mean, in a way it does, because you're sneezing and it's in the air, but that's, droplets. That's how most things spread. But this clings to dust particles. Like someone could walk into a room and yawn, and then the room is contaminated for like 3 hours. This is far worse than they're letting you know. It's also an RNA virus, which makes it highly susceptible to mutation. All it needs to do is hit like a substantial bat population, like in Brazil, and then it can mutate and become far deadlier. So people say like the media is making this bad. I think the media is not hyping it up enough. This is far more dangerous than the media is letting people on. Most people, when they accept it's dangerous, they think, it's just for old people. It's all right. I'm not old. I'm not immunocompromised. I'm going to go on spring break. No. Be careful. This will take anybody out. And when they run out of ventilators and you think you're young enough, you might be like 30, then they're going to find a 20-year-old that's younger. And then you die and the 20-year-old gets the ventilator. So be careful. Don't take unnecessary risks. Stay inside if you can. And if you go outside, just take tons of precautions, washing hands. If you have a UV bulb, which I recommend, a UV light, very good for disinfecting. I got one for an aquarium that I used in the bathroom. I set up stuff in there to disinfect my mail, the shoes of my soles, everything. But just be aware that UV light is very, very, very dangerous to your eyes and to your skin. Do not expose anything to the UV light. I run the bulb underneath my bathroom door, close the door, and I turn it on from outside the door, which turns on inside the bathroom and just disinfects anything I leave in there. But yeah, I recommend it. Get you a UV light. It makes it much easier to disinfect surfaces that's going to be tough with like soap and water. You can use it on your phone. It's great, just put your phone in there, have the UV light. It'll eradicate everything, both sides. You want like 45 minutes each side, at least. All right, I'm going to rest, and we'll see how this progresses.